don't know. I do not know what it means. Okay?
Hannah's doing an excellent job here. She knows how to roll out the dough.
That's me. 8 years old, happy, helping my mother bake for the Jewish holidays.
These are the Wexler girls making hamantaschen for Purim. What year is it? Tuf, Shin, Nun, Gimel, right.
Tufshin Nun Gimel, or 5753, was the Hebrew year. Growing up, we went by the Jewish calendar.
People, which one do you want? Do you want poppy seed, apricot butter, cherry, or chocolate chips?
Back then, I was the perfect daughter. At home, I'd study extra portions of the Torah, or Bible, memorizing entire passages word for word.
See you in what year?
See you touching the salad. Bye. Bye.
In our world, everything was religious. It wasn't until much later that I discovered that the songs of my youth were parodies of pop hits. Our only glimpse into the non-Jewish world was through television. My sister and I imitated what we saw, even though we'd never be able to dance or dress like that in public.
JM in the AM, Friday morning with Piamenta here on an Erev Shabbos at 91.1 FM. And welcome, everyone. It's May the 20th, the 11th day in the month of Iyar. The year is 5765, Tufshin Samechei. Today is Erev Shabbos Parshas Bahar, with candlelighting time at 7:51 officially later on. 56 degrees outside, 64% humidity, winds of southeast. Tomorrow afternoon showers for Shabbos with a high temperature of 67 degrees. Different story weather-wise in the Holy Land. Right now, 97 and sunny in Yerushalayim. Wow. They've got a heat wave. 88 and fair in Tel Aviv. Here in Jersey City, we're at 56 degrees on a Friday morning here at JM in the AM.
Don't look up.
Every kid grows up thinking that what happens inside their house is normal.
The dinosaur. Jurassic Park.
In my family, normal meant only eating foods that were kosher. Normal meant attending a Jewish day school, where we spent half the day studying Torah and religious topics. Normal meant observing Shabbos, a day of rest where we couldn't drive, use the computer, talk on the phone, or even turn on a light. We weren't as strict as the ultra-Orthodox, but we weren't nearly as liberal as secular Jews. We were modern Orthodox. My dad wore a yarmulke and tzitzis, and when he prayed, he put on tefillin. Like other married women, my mom always covered her hair. My sister and I dressed in accordance with the laws of tznius, or modesty, no tank tops and skirts past the knee. Israel was our second home. My grandparents had made aliyah, or immigrated to Israel, and every few years we visited them. It was our dream to someday live in the Holy Land. In 5753, I was 8 years old. I wanted to be a great Torah scholar. But things changed. When I was 12, I started to question the faith. How could the world only be 5,000 years old? And if everything in the Torah was true, how come more people didn't believe in it? By 16, I was an atheist. I broke away from Orthodox Judaism. I live in Boston now, where I'm studying neuroscience at MIT. I only visit my family occasionally, and when I do, it's always uncomfortable.
וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה, חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, you're getting reception back here.
My dad's new hygienist won't stop bothering me about my tongue ring.
Your teeth become sensitive down here. You start getting recession here where that tissue starts to pull away. You start knocking these up here where you're sleeping or whatever. And you start chipping the top teeth. Just happening, they're getting really raggedy. Mm-hmm. And eventually they just start, like a seam in a pair of pants, just start ripping and popping.
Were you the one who called the police after I got my tongue ring?
No. You only called the police when you ran away. Because you ran away from home.
Was that the same day I got my tongue pierced?
Yeah. Some things you don't forget. You weren't the easiest.
The night I ran away from home, the New Jersey police drove to New York to pick me up. I'd run away to my friend Avi's house.
Yo, someone open the door.
Avi and I met when we were breaking away from Orthodoxy. Back then, the only people who really understood me were other rebellious Orthodox Jews. We didn't spend much time at home.
You know what I mean? I was like running around, sleeping on beaches and partying the whole time. We got arrested that day, went to the cop's office, they ordered some pizza and coffee, and we left that afternoon. But yeah. So after that time, I was pretty much on the streets.
I just ran around and partied and had a good time and did whatever I wanted to do. I spent a lot of time like living on the streets of the city, like sleeping in subway cars for like nights at a time.
We went from a life of rules and restrictions to one with no limits.
Within a matter of 2 years, this girl with like little frizzy hair just completely turned 180 into this girl who, had her theories about the, lack of existence of God, who decided to experiment with free love, drugs, whatever possible adventure you can come up with to do, you would.
After we graduated from high school, Avi went to spend a year studying in yeshiva, or religious seminary, in Israel.
All my friends pretty much were going to yeshiva in Israel, so I was more inclined to go there and to like have gone to Israel, have like kind of sort of been involved in like the Israel experience that everyone talks about.
It wasn't just Avi. Almost every modern Orthodox teenager spends a year studying in Israel after high school. But most of the kids who go aren't rebellious. They're comfortable with their faith, like my sister.
I'm really nervous for my graduation. Out of my grade of 41, 38 are going to Israel next year.
Go.
Parents of religious kids see the year in Israel as a rite of passage. Parents of rebellious teenagers send their kids to Israel in hopes that they'll shape up and become religious again.
צריך רק לעבור במרכז העיר בלילה. אי אפשר להחמיץ את מאות הנערים שמגיעים לשם, משתכרים, קונים סמים, מוכרים סמים, מגרס ועד הרואין ועד בכלל, ילדים של הרחוב. המבטא שלהם מסגיר אותם. רובם באים מארצות הברית ומקנדה, ורובם מגיעים במסגרת תוכנית להעמקת הזהות היהודית והתחברות לארץ, שזה אומר לימודים של שנה בישיבה, בעלות של $20,000 שכר לימוד. השעה 8 בערב, החנויות נסגרות והמדרחוב מתרוקן. עד חצות כבר התמלא המקום שוב, הפעם במאות בני ישיבות, כולם דוברי אנגלית. במהלך הלילה הזה הם ישתו הרבה אלכוהול והתמסטלו מכל מה שרק אפשר.
They think that their sons are going to come here and just like learn Talmud, Bible, and just all of a sudden get religious, straight like that.
When Avi came back from Israel, he was religious. He started wearing a yarmulke and davening, or praying, every morning. Esther also came back totally different. She now dressed modestly, with long sleeves and skirts, and wouldn't come out with me on Friday night. And Duke stopped speaking to me and all women so that he could focus completely on his religious studies. It wasn't just my friends. This phenomenon of religious change in Israel is so common that there's even a name for it. Flipping out. I wasn't prepared for my friends to flip out. We'd all spent so long running away from the religion, and then they went back and embraced it completely. I felt betrayed. It's been 2 years since my friends came back from Israel, and I've never really understood what caused them to change so drastically. Dukes is still religious, but he's speaking to women again.
Hi, what's your name?
Ariella.
Hi, Ariella. My name is Dukes. I'm with some friends right now from MIT, and they're making a movie of, why don't you talk to them? They want to talk to you. Huh?
Is this the phone?
Yeah, it's the phone. Talk into it.
Talk into this
Yeah.
Hi, is this Ariella? Yes. Hey, what's up? This is Anna.
I wanted to find out what happened over the year in Israel. Why did all of my friends become religious? Were they coming to spiritual realizations on their own? Or were the rabbis brainwashing them?
So basically our idea is this. We're making a documentary film about the year in Israel. So we're gonna follow a couple kids before their year in Israel, during their year, and then after their year.
My friend Nadia, who is also studying neuroscience at MIT, joined me on the project. She's behind the camera most of the time. Even though neither of us had any film experience, we started driving to New York on the weekends and conducting interviews. We decided to follow 3 teenagers who reminded me of what my friends and I were like in high school. I wondered if they, too, would flip out.
Do you think you'll be religious after you get back from Israel?
I hope so. I don't know, it's not going to be like you go to Israel and you magically become religious, because I'm not going to be brainwashed into that. But I want to go and try to figure it out. Like now, none of my friends are Shomer Shabbos. Everything I do in the weekends, nothing is Shomer Shabbos. Nothing's kosher.
Tzipi reminded me of what I was like back then. She was openly non-observant, but living in a religious home.
I applied to Tisch. I want to go to Tisch and become an actress, and I didn't get in. I don't really know where I want to be at all, and I have no desire to rush into 4 more years of school. So Israel's great for me. It's a nice, in-between year.
Do you think you'll change through the year in Israel?
No, I don't think so. I'm not that kind of person. I mean, I can't say no completely, because you never know. I might.
I immediately identified with Chaim. He had a different attitude than most of the kids I'd interviewed.
At the beginning of the year, there was this party I was at. This kid started running his mouth. So I punched him in the face, and I got this whole fight with him. And then the school got really pissed off. There's a business office upstairs, an empty room. So they put me in the giant empty room by myself, in isolation, for the past 2 months.
Chaim Berkowitz.
Despite Chaim's problems in school, he ends up graduating from his modern Orthodox high school.
Who's getting fucked up tonight? It's me! Yes!
It could happen. I could totally see myself becoming a little more religious. I won't flip out.
Yeah.
But maybe get more morals or something.
Do you think you'll change when you get back? Do you think you'll be a different person when you get back from Israel?
I think I might have an appreciation that I don't have. Right now, I feel a lot of resentment towards Judaism because of the pressures that I felt. Right here is my diploma from clown school. This is my clown nose that you glue on. It's never good to blow up a balloon with your mouth.
Yeah.
Like this kind of balloon, because it can give you a hernia.
Okay.
All my clown teachers told me that.
Jake wasn't exactly the wild kind of person I was looking to follow through Israel, but I kind of liked him.
Yeah.
And even though Jake had always been religious, he at least questioned his faith.
I didn't want to keep it, and if I wasn't in a place where everyone was keeping Shabbos, then I wouldn't keep it. But because I was growing up in a religious home, as long as I was making my parents happy, I was able to do more of what I wanted to do. Let's say I got a record deal, and they said, you're gonna be in the studio like 24/7. What would I do? If I was like I guess a good Jew, I don't know. I would know. Definitely I'm not gonna work on Shabbos. I'm gonna say I'm not working on Shabbos. But I don't know what I would do in that situation.
I got into like a huge fight or something. I don't remember what exactly happened. I think I got in a huge fight with my mom. So I think my mom might have been going through chemo and like she spazzed on me, and I have a very rocky relationship with my mom anyway. And I ran away from my house and I lived in a car with these two guys for a little bit. And I was awful in that minute. I was like, fuck you, God. Like I tried so hard. Like if this is what religion is, like I would have nothing to do with you. And I went around like becoming not religious, like in order to spite God. Like I'd break Shabbos, I'd be like, fuck you. Like this is enough. Like you're completely disappointing. Like if anyone has ever let me down in my life, it's you.
My eye. It took me over a year to decide that I wanted to go to Israel. I want to get my music career started as soon as I can. I felt Israel, it's a year off, and I wanted to just start my life. But all the Rebbe's in my school were like, no, Jake, you have to go. It'll be good for you. You think you know yourself, but do you really know yourself?
Jake got into Berkeley, one of the top music colleges in the country, but deferred for the year so that he could go to Israel.
The kind of career I want to go to, there's a lot of influences that are really bad. So I want to find that stability of who I am and find myself as a person, as a Jew. My biggest fear, I mean, a lot of people come home from Israel and they're like totally flipped, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take things at the pace that I want to take it at. I'm not swallowing the pill all at once.
Have you been hanging out with your girlfriend this week?
Yeah, all week.
How is she?
So sad. She's good, but it's sad. I don't want to leave. You know? My mom's gonna freak out because I'm gonna call her like every day. So I don't know about that. My mom's gonna go crazy. She just got mad at me before because we just got like the phone bill in, and like for this month it was like over like $900.
Chaim was raised in an Orthodox home, but is proud of his Dominican roots.
I'm not gonna take this flag because I can get that. Of course, man, it's my Dominican flag. I gotta take it.
Mac. Goodbye, Mac. Goodbye, Mac.
Did you eat?
Had breakfast.
Did you pack some snacks in your backpack?
I'm buying M&Ms there.
Water? Did you make your water?
Daddy bought water for me.
Hello? Hey, what's up? Nothing's going on. Oh, man, I'm gonna miss you so much. And I love you, too.
Hi, we're gonna get late, honey.
No, we're not gonna be late. Chill out, all right? What are you saying? Yeah, Mom, what time is it? What time is it?
It's gonna be 3:30.
It's gonna be 3:30.
By the
Right?
time
What
we
time's
get
my flight?
downstairs.
6:20.
I know, but you
Mom,
gotta
last
get
time we
2.5
went early.
hours.
Yo, listen, last time we went early,
All right.
okay?
Well, I have no use for this, but should I bring it anyway?
What? No.
I
It
really
looks
don't
heavy
like
and
it.
disco-like.
Does anyone want it?
Can I see it, actually?
Do you want it? Do you want it? Yeah, I think we have a lot of looking. Do you have like a winter coat? Was I supposed to pack anything else drastic?
You packed like
Hey,
skirts.
I have another miniskirt.
Evie, are you gonna take a picture of me? Esty.
There you go, push the button.
Okay? Don't worry. Oh my goodness, that's a face.
See, Debbie?
Just don't grow anymore.
I'm going to the airport. I'm not going to a press conference.
Come on, let's go, because we're late already, Hiya.
Ma, chill out.
I arrive in Jerusalem on a Friday night. Even though I have lots of family here, I've rented an apartment so that I don't have to keep Shabbos. But in Jerusalem, it's hard not to. Buses stop running, stores shut down, many restaurants close, and the center of the city falls completely silent. On Saturday night, after Shabbos is over, all the kids who've come to spend their year in Israel hang out on Ben Yehuda Street. It's the epicenter of the modern Orthodox social scene, and even I run into old friends.
How are you?
Good.
You know Nadia? She's behind the camera. You hear the film? Can't believe you're going to the army, dude.
Yeah, neither can
I
I.
haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What have you been up to?
Nothing, it's been yeshiva, man.
Everyone who's been in Israel talks about 3 distinct phases that play out over each year. In the first, the kids arrive and take advantage of their newfound freedom.
Oh man, school is fucking sick. Fucking sick. Woo! Tequila slammers. Gotta stick with my Spanish roots. We're all out like all night and like they don't give a shit. Yo man, I just got fucked over so badly with the money here. I put my card in the ATM and I want to take out 250 shekel and it turned out to be 250 euros. I don't even have that much American money in the bank. My mom's gonna fucking kill me. But it's cool, because now I have like 1,400 checks.
7,000 miles away, so.
It gets retardedly hot during the day here. It's awful. And then at night, it gets like beautiful. Like this is the best time. And you can see the view. These steps right here are the yeshiva detour steps. We have a boys' yeshiva like 3 houses away, and then half of them are very religious and half of them are badasses. So the rabbi wants us to walk around the yeshiva. It ends up being shorter, so we do it anyway, but it's very funny. He doesn't want us to fraternize with the boys.
Tzipi School is in a residential neighborhood of Jerusalem. But like Chaim, she doesn't spend much time at school.
I go out every night and I get like more drunk than all the girls in my school all together.
So exciting. We're on the scavenger hunt. Want to see
I saw the list.
Like I dance, I flail, I jump around. I have a good time.
Molly! Is your name Molly?
Whoa!
Tibby, it's cool.
I don't know what you're saying. Are you on Xanax?
Yes.
Yes!
Take one for the team.
Take one for the team. Don't you love being drunk? Not that I am drunk, but I love it.
What are you?
Very drunk. Very drunk.
On what?
Drunk.
I always get confused with these streets here. It's so confusing.
Jake's school is on a farming community just outside of Jerusalem. He has religious classes from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day.
I've only been here for a week, but it doesn't feel like a week. It feels like a lot more than a week. I don't know why. It's just like the days like drag. For some reason, I'm just not, I'm not clicking. I don't know why. Usually like the first day I'm with the rabbi, like I click with them. I think Tel Aviv's somewhere around there. Somewhere.
I never thought I would be homesick, but sometimes I actually do get like really homesick. I don't know why. I guess it's just like feeling lonely. This year I got really close with my parents, and especially the way that we left the airport. My dad couldn't stop like kissing me. I'm walking around the square and he comes up to the square and he doesn't want to let go of me. It was so hard. The first night I called him and I started crying, but he didn't know.
Chaim's school is in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood of Jerusalem. My grandparents have lived here for nearly 20 years. and as a kid, I used to spend my summers here.
What's up?
Nadia and I can't film inside the all-male seminaries, and we also have to get back to school. So we give each of the kids cameras to film themselves during the year.
This is Chaim and Adam's Deeds tape from coming live from Israel. All right, yeah. We just picked up some absinthe. You see that? Oh, the green fairy itself, and we're taking. So far, me and Adam got about 2 little babies in us, right? Two. We're gonna keep going, see how it goes, see where it leads us tonight.
Dude, this shit really burns your throat, man.
Going up, smoking some hookah.
Chaim's friends take the camera and record a chaotic night of partying inside the yeshiva. The rabbis are sleeping next door.
Like, smoke a lot of shit in this movie, and take some pills in this movie, and be really cracked out in this movie. So I take 3 Klonopins.
Yo, Adam. Chill out, man.
All this other shit, man.
Yo, Adam, here,
and
dude.
mad hash.
Don't talk the shit.
Mad hash. I've never been so high in my life, man.
Lock the door. I'm gonna show you how you roll a hash joint. Sit down.
I came to school thinking that the rules were completely different, along with like majority of my school.
Please be sure that all clothes you bring conform to our dress code. There are basic standards that all students must adhere to. These include wearing skirts that cover the knee even while seated, shirts with sleeves to the elbow, and which
He gave one girl a set of rules that said sleeves past your elbows and skirts past your knees, and he told me I can wear pants and t-shirts, which is very different. And like we can wear t-shirts, like I can wear this. A lot of schools can't wear that. And if you want, you can wear pants, but put a skirt over it. So it's really not a big deal. But girls were so upset about that.
Each Friday afternoon, the center of Jerusalem is the place to see old friends from school, camp, and synagogue.
Rafi! No, I love Israel, just my school isn't so cool. No!
I got 2 legs for me to learn how to see them. Really cool. Schmooze.
Jake meets up with Ariel, one of his best friends from home.
Who am I?
Stop, for real, look at them.
Who are you? Why in the world am I here? This is the question I always ask. And nobody could really answer it. Like, cause that's what we were created to do.
This one also. Why do we have to, all these things are like, yeah, why, huh? Tell me why, you know what I mean? It's so good to see you.
You too.
Yeah, for real?
I've been waiting 2 weeks to hang out with you in Israel. If they would treat me nicely and treat me like an adult, and I would be able to choose when I want to learn and what I want to learn, then yeah, I would be into it. But if they're forcing me to fit in a certain way, I'm not gonna get into it.
I was like this.
Ariel, Shabbat Shalom.
There's no rabbis or anything in our place. They're starting to care because they're starting to get really mad that like no one gets up for davening. I wake up at like 3 o'clock. Like, try waking me up, doesn't work. They gave up on me already. I don't know. It's funny, like they came in our room and they screamed, they're like, Avi, come on, you gotta get up, Chaim. All right. But I don't think I davened once since I've been here, which isn't really a good thing, I guess. So the last video diary sucked, so I decided to make another one. Hello? Whoa, what's going on? She's actually taking it like really well. We actually got like a lot closer since I like left. You know MTV? You know they have like Real World? So you know how like they have like that thing, like you see them in a room, like the confession room or whatever? So I have to make something like, yeah, I'm doing it right now, yeah. Okay, I love you so much, alright? Okay. Alright, bye.
I had a really good talk with my rabbi last night. I don't want to flaunt anything in the face. So, like, if I'm going to come home at night, I'm going to come home on curfew. Just some nights I'm just not going to come home. And, like, everything that I said was legitimate. I'm, like, having classes all day, I ADD out, and I'm not doing anything, and I just need to go. And he's like, okay, fine. If you need to, you need to. I'm like, sometimes I need to sleep out. He's like, okay. I'm like, I can't just do it once a week. He was like, okay. So now I have no rules because I'm not that type. I'm different. My family does it differently. I'm like, listen, honestly, I'm not gonna be as bad as I was at home because I have no desire to do that. And like, I did come here to become like, to find myself and whatnot.
Holy shit. That's ridiculous.
That was amazing! I want to give you a tour of the room. We redid it a little bit. This is where I sleep. Whoa. This is where Yitzi sleeps. This is where Dan sleeps. This is kind of crazy, okay? You have a shower and a toilet right next to each other, and a squeegee that we have to push out the water from the floor into the hole. Yeah, that's what we gotta do. The water, it just goes to the floor.
I sat on the plane and dreamed of what would be. I'm moving to a holy place, my soul's country, the hole inside of me filling up slowly.
It's something that you have to work at, something you have to find within yourself. You have to think, really. People come here and they don't think, they just party and have fun, but you can have fun, you can party, but you have to think, what do you want? What do you want out of it? Don't just waste your time, you know?
Dreams that I had seem so lame, and what God has in store. Dream of something.
Oh, hey.
This book, Permission to Believe, Rabbi Lawrence Kellerman, I had some serious problems with this book. It's called 4 Rational Approaches to God's Existence. And when most of my friends went to Israel for the year, they used this book, and the arguments in this book actually convinced a lot of my friends to be religious. Chapter 1, Atheism is Irrational, and that already pissed me off because I consider myself an atheist. Then there's Chapter 2, The Moral Approach to God's Existence, which states an argument that's along the lines of how can there be morals without God? After high school graduation, I had no intention of going to Israel. I bought a one-way ticket to Kathmandu and planned to spend the year traveling in Asia. But before my big trip, I went to Israel for a cousin's wedding. While I was there, I found out that Rabbi Kellerman worked at the same school as my grandmother. He's a pretty famous rabbi. He's really hard to get in touch with. My grandmother actually got me an appointment with him because I sort of wanted to argue against what he's written here. We had 2 long and intense conversations, more like debates, where I argued that it was impossible to prove the existence of God. Afterwards, Rabbi Kellerman suggested that I cancel my trip to Asia and spend a year not in seminary, but studying with him personally. I was surprised to find myself actually considering the offer. There was something seductive about being here, surrounded by tens of thousands of religious people, all certain that they were doing the right thing in the right place. I decided to give the religion one last chance. I went to the Western Wall, the holiest site for Jews. If I could just believe in the faith, all the troubles of the past years would disappear, and my family and community would accept me. I sat there and desperately tried to feel what I'd felt as a child, that all-encompassing sense of spirituality and belief. I sat there for a long time, but I didn't feel anything.
Remember how I couldn't stand school and I wanted to switch and I wanted to leave Israel? Well, now I absolutely love it, and I definitely don't want to go home and leave Israel. I'm loving it. It's like I've never felt so spiritual in my life. I spent my first Shabbos in the Old City by the Kotel. It was the most uplifting Shabbos I've ever had in my life. You feel this thing inside of you, like you're coming alive, like something that's been missing. You feel it, like this is my home, this is mine. I guess it's your soul. You know, it feels at home sometimes, and it's such a good feeling.
I don't know, like now I need to be home. Sucks because I actually was starting to really like it here, and I got really close with all the guys, so we're all here for each other. It's like a frat house. It's fucking crazy. Get over it, man. Fucking ninja, bro.
If I go, would you come running? Woman, I said to come right here and dance up.
It's a Hugh Hefner with the yeshiva. Oh man, nice full shaved head. Oh yeah. Last time before I set sail on my journey.
You're coming back though.
You gotta hold down the fort till I get back.
I will.
Because of family problems at home, Chaim decides to return to America. He sneaks out in the middle of the night without telling his rabbi.
That's it. All right.
I miss you, man.
I'll see you soon. Don't cry, Z. It's okay. I'll be back.
I told the rabbi straight that I was just leaving and that like I would come back when I could and that like you shouldn't ask me any questions. So I wasn't sure I wanted to be in school anymore. It was driving me crazy. And then I left school for like a week and a half. And then came back to school like on a very like part-time basis. The beginning of the school year, I just drank myself retarded all the time. I drank and that was it. I was drunk all the time. Oh, me and Esther did mescaline in Israel. It was great. It was fine. Oh, I went through a little e-binge also. That was really fun. That was the best stage of Israel. Is it easy to get?
Very easy to get, surprisingly enough. Like, you find the most random drugs here, and
people
they're
are
just like throwing them at you.
We
You're
have
like,
95 ecstasy pills. You're like, really?
Look at
that
that.
was my
That was
the end
Halloween.
of my drinking right there. It ended 2 nights after that. Now we're not really doing so many drugs. This is our new. We don't really do so many drug stage.
Like, so many people also turn OCD in Israel. You're just like, what?
Or like people start fooling around people who are 12 years older than them, and people land up in jail, and other
Okay,
people
you're
get
talking about
arrested.
2 specific people to be.
But like those specific people were everywhere.
After Chaim came back to America, we asked him to continue filming himself with his own camera.
Back in America, as you can see, back to America. Stuff with Shayna is amazing. I love her. Love her. Hopefully one day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got really drunk the weekend I came back, because I had a lot of catching up to do with my friends here. This Chaim called me. We're doing a crip walk dance. Alright, yo, let's go with the do the worm.
We next caught up with Sippy in the winter.
Check it out. Put on the music. iTunes. It's louder.
In the second phase of the year in Israel, kids start to get bored with all the partying and spend more time going to religious classes.
No one really goes out so much. It's too rainy, it's too gross. Everything gets really boring. That's why people flip out, because you're really bored.
Tippy.
Yes?
What are you doing right now?
I'm crocheting a kippah.
Sippy and her classmates perform in a choir competition against 15 other seminaries. The room was full of nearly 1,000 girls, all spending their year studying in Israel. No men were allowed to attend because in Orthodoxy, they aren't allowed to hear women sing.
I'm learning tznius with like my aim by it. It's like whether or not I keep whatever I'm learning. One is that I'm learning about it. And two, just feel like more aware of the way you're dressed. Because I feel like that makes a big difference. I'm not gonna rush myself. I spent 18 years not being religious. I can take my time to become religious again.
Should I sing it?
Please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvoso v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Chanukah.
Jake started drumming with Hamakor, a popular band in Jerusalem.
Like we jammed a little bit on guitar, and then that night he's like, "So you play drums?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How good?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm the best." So the next day he's like, "Jake, you want to drum for us?" I'm like, "All right, fine." He's like, "Practice on Monday."
Remember, simple,
Chill.
and on the beat, chill with it. Don't try and show off, you know. Just
Yourselves,
give a good show and rock out.
Guys?
Yeah. I'm not so sure if I should go to Berkeley anymore. I heard like it's really hard to stay religious there. My parents got in touch with people that went to Berkeley, some religious people, and they all said the same thing, like that they had to fight and fight and fight to like stay religious, and it was really, really hard for them. One guy said the only reason why he stayed religious because he got married, and she kept him in check. My parents were always bothered when I wouldn't wear tzitzis. They would always like threaten me with all these things. So I never really wanted to wear them ever. But now I'm starting to wear them. It's also a lot easier in Israel to wear tzitzit because like everyone is wearing them. It's weird if you're not wearing them. Last year I thought I couldn't live without TV. Like I was like, how am I gonna spend the entire year without TV? But like I'm not going insane. Like you could actually live without those things. Like I haven't been on the internet the entire year.
Would you ever want to live here in the future?
Yeah, I would. If my family moved here, I wouldn't mind living here like next year.
Oh my God, I'm getting attacked by this fly. Ah, there we go.
Sippy has hardly used her video camera all year, but she takes it out when she goes camping on the Dead Sea, a salt lake between Israel and Jordan.
There's Jordan, and there's the campsite. Where'd you go?
Give it to me. Is it filming? All right, check it out. All right, we're straight.
Sippy and her boyfriend David try keeping Shabbos together, just to see what it feels like.
What time is Shabbat?
At
6:58.
In honor of Shabbos, David puts on a yarmulke and Sippy wears a skirt.
Started college, and then I dropped out because the college sucks, and I really didn't like it. Things with Shayna have been like really rocky, so she got on my nerves and I yelled at her. I was really stupid, and she broke up with me, and she doesn't want to get back together with me.
for now, but I'll get her back. I'll get her back. I really just want to like go back to Israel and just like relax. Like, that was a huge mistake. Seriously, I really wish I was there. Like, even though if I was there, I would wish I was here. When you're there, it's so peaceful and like no one really bothers you, you know? Except for like the occasional whatever, like the rabbis want you to learn, but like that's all you gotta worry about is just the rabbis bothering you about learning. It's not like here. Like here, I got so many problems. Like you look around and like everyone around you is just like working and like getting ready for life. And what am I doing, you know? I'm just sitting here playing video games, doing nothing. I mean, at least if I was working, like that's something, and like playing video games, at least I'm working, but like I'm not doing anything. I'm just wasting away my life right now.
Much of my extended family lives in Israel. I visited my grandparents a few times while we were filming. Sometimes I'd even help them prepare for Shabbos, but I always left before it started. While I was here, I decided to try and arrange a meeting.
All right, here goes.
Hi, Rabbi Kalaman. I wanted to thank you for agreeing to be interviewed. I just wanted to confirm that we're on for today at 3.
I wasn't sure what I was going to ask Rabbi Kalaman, and I found myself getting nervous about the interview. The last time I'd met with him, I'd set out with the sole purpose of proving him wrong. This time, I didn't want to argue. I wanted to see if he had any insight into the religious change that happens here. Rabbi Kalaman isn't involved directly with the year in Israel, but he teaches at a school that helps secular Jews become closer to the faith.
Thank you, Bobby.
He was just as intense as I remembered him, and I started off the interview pretty flustered.
It must be so interesting to see these changes. I mean, they're happening all the time here.
Pretty inspiring. Yeah. And it's a huge percentage. I mean, I don't know what the hit rate here is, but it's probably like, my guess is it's over 98%. I mean, like the vast majority of people who walk in the door and stay end up making changes in their life, making some sort of religious commitment.
Your book has been really influential. Has anybody ever written to you personally?
A number of people.
Really?
It's gratifying. I have an interesting perspective on that. I get a lot of letters from people who say that the book impacted them.
Mm-hmm.
And I question how much it's really true. Why? It's often people are looking for permission. And the book, it enables them to feel that they're not crazy for going in the direction they want to go. But I don't think people actually go down this path because of those books, even though that's what they write in their letters. They write things like, "You made me from." And I don't really think that's true.
Last year I was like, I don't know, I might not stay. Maybe I'll go to Israel, but if I go to Israel, I'll stay a couple of months and then go back. But like now it's like, how could I ever thought that? It's like such a great year this year.
Let's take a look at the agenda. Buses were supposed to leave a half hour ago. Shachrit, 9:15 Air Force Museum. Sounds crazy. Especially when you're 17, 18, 19, and 20. Everyone's changing. Sit and like just be serious and stop running for a second, for like a year. You know, stop running. You'll be running your whole life. Just to sit and like think. Get things in order. Everyone needs that.
Alright, I want to be first.
Like the independence thing you could gain from going to college. You're on your own for the first time in college. But what's different about Israel, you're like focusing just on your religious roots. As you can see, we are in the middle of nowhere. Desert all around. Desert all... What's that? Is that an ice cream truck in the middle of the desert? Holy crap. That's crazy. That's insanity.
It's just a mirage, people. It's not really here.
In the third phase of the year in Israel, kids start to make major transformations. I asked Rabbi Kellerman if he could predict who was going to change and who wasn't.
After 13 years of watching people, there's patterns. I was going to say there's one fascinating pattern. When you have a class of new students, you can pretty much predict which ones will certainly make the curve and actually decide to become religious. And the criterion that I found is if they're extraordinarily appreciative people, if they're very thankful, if they have a sense of Hakaras HaTov, they are going to become religious. I have a theory about why it's true, but practically it's a very interesting marker. If you find that marker in somebody, the odds are, if they're exposed, they'll become religious.
Hi, Dan. Hey Ariel.
What is it? I got you, Jake.
What?
I got you.
Torah! Woohoo!
Look at that.
Yes, big print.
It's crazy to see what people do in order to try to make themselves better. A lot of people, they decide they're gonna stop talking to girls or stop talking to boys. So one of my closest friends, she wanted to stop talking to boys. Ariel.
Yes.
What's so special about today?
Today is the last day that I'm talking to boys.
Because why? Because you went to seminary?
Yeah.
And that's what they told you to do?
It makes me really sad that I have to do that.
When you don't talk to me, I could always just talk to you on the camera, you know? You're like, hey,
Pictures
Ariel.
of a collage. I have a nice collage.
But now, like, you're talking, you can't really hear you, so I'll be like you're talking back
I'm
to me.
gonna get responses.
Okay.
Okay, if you're venting because you're having like a bad day, God, I'm so sorry. It's gonna get better.
If I'm happy?
If you're happy, then. If you're sad, I'm here for you and you can call me.
If I want to go to the aquarium, what
If you want to go to the aquarium? Did you see that swallow? That was a lump in my throat. That was a lump in my throat. Me trying to hold myself back from crying.
I told her, like, I don't necessarily agree with the whole thing, but I think if this is gonna help you grow and become better, I'm totally supportive. And she's not the only person that did that either. Out of my close friends that are girls, probably like about 3 to 5, which is like it's a big thing. It's not like 1 or 2.
Part of what I think Israel does is it enables a person to take some time off and sort of bracket with space the big decisions of their life and their values so they can think through things. So it might be the non-environment in Israel, the fact that they're taking away from all the distractions, that might be what allows people to make the change.
In the spring, many seminaries organized trips to the concentration camps in Poland.
So I went to Poland and I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just go. And once I get back, I can go back to America. And that was all I was thinking about. I went to my Downing and it's on a flat land, right? So we're sitting there and we're walking towards the gas chambers. And I'm not joking, I was wearing leggings, tights, 4 pairs of socks, boots, 2 skirts, 3 sweatshirts, and a coat and a hat and a scarf, and my lips turned purple. That's how cold it was. Like I was shaking in my gloves, shaking, physically. And they read a story about some girl who was standing where we were naked. And I was just like, I don't think it's humanly possible to be naked there because I was in March, which is past winter, and my lips were completely purple. Girls were freezing, shaking. People were like, what it must have taken to survive is beyond us. I feel like at that point I was like, I don't want to be the same exact person that I was before. I think just having time to myself and time to think, and Poland is just hell. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to America and I'm gonna just see what it's like to try to be different, to try to grow up. Over America, actually, my mom got re-diagnosed with cancer. Only I knew in the entire family. And last week before I went back, I took on dressing tenias, which was I took it on because I figured I'm really bad at it and I hate it, so God would see it and be like, oh, well, that's pretty impressive. Oh my gosh, look at this room. Here we have my skirts. We wear these all the time. Sometimes we layer them up so I look like I have more than I have. This is my new from skirt that I bought for the winter. It's incredible. We don't wear these. These are Sarah's closet. Oh, here we go. This is a great thing we don't wear anymore. Bathing suits. I went to the beach and I had clothes on. It was intensive. Here we have Gap bodies. They go over under all my shirts because I can't wear anything anymore that I owned. 3/4 length. 3/4 length. I can't even wear this. Very depressing sometimes. This is also not long enough, you'd think, but no. Oh, this is here. The second that you put on different clothes, it changes what you are because you look at yourself different in the mirror. I have no interest in going out and getting myself smashed in town and flailing around like an idiot and flirting with people and like having people talk about me and like I just have no interest. You get up and you realize that you're doing something different, and it's not like I frummed out and I'm keeping Shabbos and I'm davening 16 times a day, because I'm not. But I'm so much happier. Like I really just got so happy in the last month.
At the end of the school year, Tzipi decided to make Aliyah. After his year, Jake returned to America.
Like, I would never not keep Shabbos now. I would never not keep kosher. I used to go on a subway and not wear yarmulke and tzitzis because I was afraid, like, someone might kill me, you know? When I first went to Israel, I was set, like, I'm going to Israel so I could be very stable with my religiousness, and then I can go to Berkeley, right? That was my whole thing. And then as time went on, I realized if I go to a place where there's not so many religious people, I'm not gonna stay that religious. But like I decided I wanted to go to Queens because Queens there's a really large Jewish population. In the Hillel in Queens, there's a learning program. And there's just like, you're around Jews a lot more. And I feel like that's really important. Everyone gets something out of going to Israel. Everyone changed. You know, like 50% changed drastically. The other, we're all like, but everyone changed. And if you think change is bad, don't go to Israel. You know, don't think about life. But I think everyone has to think about it.
After we had finished filming, I spent my last year at MIT and graduated in 2007. I was struggling to put the movie together. I accepted a one-year residency to work on the film at a television station in Boston. I'm still close with my religious friends, even though they seem to be on a different path in life. My friend Esther got engaged. A few months later, she got married. Avi remained one of my best friends, even though he got married and moved to Israel. He went to parties and music festivals and kept Shabbos while he was there.
Shabbos, like done right, like religiously at festivals, is kind of fun because you're not smoking and you're not driving, and therefore like you're here and you're having fun, but you're also like here and having fun also, you know?
Avi was religious, but maintained a connection to his old lifestyle. I visited him when I could. During one of my visits, Dukes was also there.
Dukes, what's up? Afternoon.
Unlike Avi, Dukes was no longer religious. He had traded his black hat for a baseball cap. We talked about the role of the rabbis in the year in Israel.
It's like somebody with conviction of something. Like somebody especially with like a Torah conviction. That they think the Torah is true, and they think that God's work is to follow the Torah, and the Jews have a special mission in this world to follow the Torah and to do His will. You know, it's not as much as a malicious type of a thing where they're trying to indoctrinate youth into a cult as they're really trying to help people and bring truth into their lives.
Based on everything we filmed during the year, I agreed with Dukes. The rabbis may have looked away during the partying, but it didn't seem like they were brainwashing anyone. But still, my friends had changed pretty drastically during the year. They'd probably been more open to change than I first realized, and as a teenager, I'd just been too angry to see it. On this trip, I spent most of my time in Tel Aviv. It's right on the beach and has a reputation for being a hedonistic party city. Tel Aviv was a totally different Israel than the one that Chaim, Jake, and Sippy had been part of. Back home in America, my position at the television station had ended, and I wasn't sure where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do with my life. Then, sort of by accident, I found a website dedicated to helping Jews make Aliyah. If you're Jewish, the Israeli government actually pays you to immigrate. You get a free plane ticket, free Hebrew lessons, generous tax breaks, and $5,000 in cash. I'd always associated Aliyah with religion, so it almost seemed like a loophole that I could get paid to move to Tel Aviv.
It's a little ridiculous to take New Yorkers to Israel.
One pair of flip-flops?
Yeah. I really like these though.
I shocked my family and friends by fulfilling the dream of almost every modern Orthodox Jew in America. I immigrated to Israel. But not just any part of Israel. Tel Aviv. I found an incredible apartment overlooking the beach, and I began to work as a freelance science writer. Sometimes I'd even work straight from my hammock. The film slipped to the back of my mind as I made a new life for myself in Israel. But in June 2010, 2 people related to the film died. The deaths prompted me to think about the film again, and I knew it was time to finish it. One of the deaths was Sippy's mother, who had lost her long battle with cancer. A few months after her death, I visited Sippy at her new home in Sfat, a hilltop village that is the center of Jewish mysticism. It had been over 4 years since we'd last filmed her.
This is our album. This is my husband. You saw, I think, June of my year in seminary, and I made Aliyah that September. This is me and my mom. This is my mom giving me a bracha before I go get married. I was really freaking out at this point. This is me having an anxiety attack. This is me having even more of an anxiety attack. There's my sister having an anxiety attack also. And there's my mom, very casual. You want to hold Mommy's notebook? Here, 1 second.
It was incredible to see how much Sippy had matured. She was 23 now and teaching in a seminary for rebellious girls who come to spend their year in Israel.
Maybe I just understand them better than I understand like someone who's lived a very cookie cutter life. People who are very extreme and have really like intense personalities sometimes tend to go in that direction, and they're just the most amazing people in the end. And it's a privilege in a lot of ways to help those people figure out that you can be awesome and intense and not smoke crack. So I actually had a dream when I was pregnant that I was calling my firstborn, who was a boy, Yesharya, and I've never heard of that name. It means straight to God, or straight from God, or God is straight, depending on how you translate it. And at my mother's funeral, actually, which was a month after he was born, the rabbi gave an entire speech how my mother's message to the world was God is straight, and that she never questioned anything that happened to her. And as he was talking, I was just like, that's how I really feel like I got the inspiration from his name.
was like 5 years ago. Hello? Well, I finished college, I got married, had a baby, and now I'm in grad school. I got married when I was 20. My wife turned 20 that night. Like a lot of people thought we were crazy for getting married so young, but it really it worked out for us. We were ready for it. And it's really challenging to be married so young and to have a kid so young, but like we take it on and we roll with it.
Jake was studying to become a special ed teacher. When we caught up with him and his wife Nava, they were moving to a new house.
We just unpacked the kitchen, and all our boxes are still around. There's a living, whatever, dining room area, bedroom. And there's also a huge closet in here, which I like. But my wife said I shouldn't put any of my music stuff in, but I already did, so we'll see. I just set up the baby's room. Get your crib where she sleeps. Just like this year, around the same time, there's a blizzard. I'm like, we really can't have the baby now. And then 5 in the morning, Nava taps me. She's like, I think I'm in labor. They sent 2 ambulances out. They both got stuck. Everyone got stuck in the snow. It was like a huge thing to get to the hospital, but we finally got there, and here she was. The baby was born. And then it took a while, to sink in that I have a baby. You know, this is my child.
It was Chaim who ended up being the biggest surprise of all. He had moved to Queens and enrolled in art school. It was there that he started to change.
Everyone at first just identified me with all the Dominicans there. So I was like, oh yeah, whatever, because I'm very proud to be Dominicans. And after a while, I don't know, I'm not Catholic or Christian, I'm Jewish, and I started really identifying with the Jewish side. And then I started getting pretty religious through being in a very, very non-religious place. So then I started feeling all right, I'm gonna start wearing yarmulkes. I'm but I don't want to wear these stupid black yarmulkes. I want to wear my kind of yarmulkes. This is the first one I made. That's my little signature, yeah. And then everyone's shocked, are you Jewish? I was like, Chaim Berkowitz, really? It's not even remotely Spanish. Yeah, I'm Jewish. I was in an elevator one time and some girls she's like, can I just ask you something? I'm like, what? She's like, is that a dashiki? I was like, no, it's a yarmulke. And they're like, oh, why do you wear that? So I told her, it's supposed to just be something on top of your head that reminds you there's always something above you, And of course, my Dominican flag. Gotta have my Dominican yarmulke.
Chaim had just started a new company that sold his hand-painted yarmulkes and other Jewish-related products.
I feel there's a lot of Jews out there that they can't identify with any of the Jewish stuff, They see tzitzis and it's all right, whatever. They see yarmulke, they're not wearing that. The way I was, I'm not wearing that crap. I love Pink Floyd, so my dark side of the Jew. I know what I was missing, and I know maybe what these people can identify with. And if they can identify with some crazy Jewishly themed thing, they would want it and be like, yeah, this is cool.
Chaim bought himself a black hat, an item of clothing most often worn by ultra-Orthodox Jews.
So I always wear it back. Everyone's like, oh, it's not the way you're supposed to wear it, it's very whatever. So supposedly, it's like that. But
When you leave for a year in Israel, you're not just going to study for a year in a different country. You're leaving so you can have some sort of experience, so you can find yourself. And people, when they take a year to find themselves, they're going to find something.
I'd started out exploring how the year in Israel had affected my friends, but now the year seemed much more significant than I'd first thought. I wondered if it was crucial, in some way, for the preservation of modern Orthodoxy in America. I asked Rabbi Kellerman what he thought about this theory.
I think if there wasn't this year in Israel, I think a lot more people would not be religious, right? Or be Orthodox who are from Orthodox families.
That might be what's happening. And
we discussed whether the year in Israel could be protecting young, modern Orthodox Jews against the pull of the secular world.
Now what you've got is the 18-year-old program is a medicine which actually resolves a certain malady in a very particular community.
That's what I think. That's why I'm personally so fascinated by this.
I like the theory. Yeah, I like the theory.
What?
Chutzpah.
I asked my grandfather, who's a rabbi, what he thought about this theory.
A massive number of students come for that 1 year, and when they return, they're very friendly to the state of Israel. A goodly percent of these students were protected against a possible assimilation. But given their love for Israel to begin with in the high schools, they were not likely candidates for intermarriage. But America is a strange country. Religious people intermarry. And the year in Israel fortifies their resolve to remain connected to the Jewish people and the Jewish state.
I think like the major problem with today's Jewish youth is that they don't really care. So what the year in Israel serves a lot of people to do is to make you feel like you have a Jewish identity. So you don't go to college and become just anyone else.
That's why parents send their kids there. I don't think they want them to get more religious, really. I think they just want them to be good people. Good Jews.
Do I think everybody should go to Israel? I don't know. A lot of guys that went to Israel, in Israel they were like becoming like really, really religious, and then a year later, they're not wearing a yarmulke anymore, they're not wearing tzitzis, they're not doing anything religiously. So like, did they gain anything? I don't know. But for other people, they went to Israel, they weren't from it all, and they weren't spiritual, and they weren't, they didn't really have a grasp on their life. Now, and they had their head on their shoulders.
You're not still dating Shayna, are you?
Nah.
Chaim and his girlfriend dated on and off for 5 years, but eventually broke up.
I have like so much of stuff to worry about. Like, you can't worry about like girls right now. Yeah. So it's like when I get everything together, everything's at least like moving forward, then like I'll worry about it. But like, or we'll see what happens. Like, it's not up to me, it's up to God. Like, if God wants to meet someone, I'll meet someone. It's filling. How you put it on, tie 7 straps around the arm, 1 around the wrist, around the hand, and then you put the one on the head, and then you go back and tie the finger and retie the rest. It's a bond. You're creating a bond between you and God. You're kind of like attaching these things to yourself that are just like such a high spiritual level. It definitely centers me. Put them on. You get in like that serious place for davening,
Do you think how things would have been different if you hadn't gone to Israel for the year?
I would have been graduating college, probably touring some strange African town, and now I'm married with a baby in Tzfat, religious, teaching in seminary. No, I don't think I ever thought this is what I would end up doing. But that's what life is. Life is about, you have no idea.
Oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
That looks great. Ow! Looks good.
I came back to New York for my sister's wedding.
That's it. Now eyes at the flowers. Take a look at the flowers.
Like most people from our community, she had never strayed from the religious path.
Great smile. Squeeze them, mommy. That's it. That was a great shot. Good. 2 and 3.
In this block here. See any semblance of like ordering? I mean, this is Pecos.
It's gonna be right in front here somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe they just don't have stone.
It might be right in there, like in the earth.
Hi, Mom. Good. I just have a quick question. When the unveiling means when they unveil a stone at the gravesite?
And how long does it take to put up a stone? So what happens? So right now I'm at Avi. There's just snow, and I can't find any stone. I'm at Avi's grave. After a year, there's a stone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just call you back.
On June 5th, 2010, my friend Avi, who was one of the main reasons I made this film, died of a drug overdose. He was 26. Avi's death was on my mind when I talked to Tzippi. I've always wondered if people from our community went more extreme in terms of drug use than people from the secular world.
I think people in the Orthodox community have a lot more to lash out about sometimes. Because once you're labeled as a slut for just hanging out with a guy, then what's to stop you from doing anything else? If you already have a reputation for smoking a cigarette, of being, horrible, then what's the difference anymore? And in the secular world, there's still a major difference. I'm 23 and I have a lot of friends who have overdosed. And I'm 23. I think that's pretty rare to know that many people have died from drug abuse at my age. I know all of them have been from religious homes.
We all reacted to Avi's death in different ways.
I'd say that his death definitely changed my perspective on life and what I expect from life and what I want out of it.
My friend Dukes decided it was time to settle down and start a family.
These are the pictures of my baby that has not arrived yet. Hopefully should be arriving soon, maybe in the next month or two. This one looks kind of like an alien. You can see the eyes look like a little gray alien. And this is the most recent one. So the baby's due in March. That's another month away. And I'm looking forward to it.
I talked to Dukes about the film. He asked me if I thought I'd have become religious if I'd spent the year in Israel.
I don't think I would have.
I don't think so, but I think that there's a stronger possibility.
I don't think there is a chance I would have become religious.
I think that it's
I don't know.
irrational not to say that there's a chance, because there's always a chance. Your religious upbringing and your family life, different aspects of it really turned you off to the whole idea. And it's really not something that you wanted, and it's not something that you want. But I believe that if you had gone to Israel at that time, you would have had a different perspective, maybe not with your family, maybe something different, maybe some other cultural aspect would have touched you in a way that might have changed your mind. I don't know. I think it's possible.
You know what? One day you will come back. I think you're going to come back. You're not going to be able to resist it. You may fight it for a while, but eventually. The very fact that you chose to do this story is something you can't get your religion out of your system. You chose a topic. You didn't choose to follow the life of a crocodile or a platypus or something to make a video. You chose something that was very close to you and really very meaningful to you. So although you think you've discarded religion, it's part of you, and you can't get it out of your system. So I don't know if this is going to be a catharsis for you. But
I'm I'm still the black sheep in my family, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But through making this film, I've become more accepting of my religious family. One unexpected thing came out of my move to Israel. I developed a relationship with my grandparents. I even joined them for dinner on some holidays. Even though there are lots of conversation topics that are off limits, like politics, religion, and my personal life, we find other things to talk about, like their weekly trip to the nutritionist.
We come in, and all we do is get on the scale. Zadie empties out all his pockets. I take off my watch and my ring. She weighs us. And then she says, you'll do better next week. Yeah, you know.
Do you pre-weigh before you get weighed?
Sure.
So you get on the scale before you go to the dietitian?
In the morning.
It's very bad with cancer.
But we have a hard time because the weigh-in is on a Monday. And Shabbos over the weekend, you tend to gain a lot of weight. And you don't have time to get rid of it. So Sunday night, we ate light. But then anyway, it wasn't good enough, so we gained too much weight, so since we cancel. And then Monday night, we usually eat well, because we have a whole week. We have a whole week to lose, right? So that's the game we play with ourselves.
So do you go to classes? Like,
No.
You don't go to any classes?
No.
So you really come to all this on your own?
Yeah.
Without any, no like mentor or guide or, so it's really just like your own?
It's just me and God. It's good because it's real, you know? Like, I feel like whatever I have is like really like what I want to do and really what I have. I have no idea what's really important, what's not. Like I just like do because like I do. And what turns out is what I'm actually end up doing is like, I guess what's important, you know?
Chaim is invited to display his work in Manhattan. It's his first public art show.
That's also why I can attribute everything to like Hashem too, because like I know it's like not me sometimes. Like I know it's not me like painting. It's like Hashem like funneling through me to it, you know. So it's like I'm like painting and making stuff, but like I'm not really there when I'm painting. And then afterwards I come out of it and I look at it and I'm like, Hashem, man. All this nice work, all Chaim Berkowitz. I was loving the dark side of the Jew. Like I love it. Like before, like this one guy came over to me. He's like, "Oh man, it's like Jew side of the moon. That's sick." I was like, "Actually, it's dark side of the Jew." He's like, "Oh, better name." He's like, "How'd you come up with that?" I was like, "What do you mean? How'd I come up with that? I made it." He's like, "You made that?" I'm like, yeah. And like everyone's been like asking me about it. I feel like here's the real test, you know? Like I'm in like America, I'm not in Israel. Israel, it's so easy. Like you see people like within a week, they're like, oh, the most religious people ever. But if you ever take them out of there, they're not gonna be so religious for long, you know? And like me, I like am religious here. Like nothing around here is Jewish, nothing's kosher in the city. You know, you gotta really try. And I like that I have to really actually try here, that it's not like just handed to me, you know?
I think I became more religious just after I got married because I took on my husband's customs. He's like very into truth. He can't handle bullshit, for lack of a better word. And for me, I'm a very big extremist. I've always been an extremist. If I want to do something, I want to do it all the time. Like if I put on chapstick, I want to put on chapstick 18 times a day for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just my personality. So when I became religious, I'm like, I want to be so frum and I want to wear it, you know, I want to look like those little women from Esharim. And he's just like, you aren't, you know, that it's not truthful. It's not who you are, and it's not what matters. So you need to think about what matters. And then, you know, the more that I thought about it and the more that I had exposure to different types of people and different types of Jews, the more my mind was open to that idea of like being a real person and looking past physicality. You have to be honest, and if you're not going to be honest, then it doesn't matter.
Hi. Where's your tongue?
Where's your tongue?
There's times where I fall religiously. Let's say, I don't know, times where I don't put on tefillin for a while. Like, life just like gets so crazy. I wake up, there's no time to even put on tefillin. Like, I have to go straight to work, gotta take care of the baby, gotta like do all this stuff. And it'll happen for like days and days. And then before I know it, I'm not doing it at all. I'm not even thinking about it. Once I start doing it again, and like I make it a priority in my life just changes. There's real happiness that comes from it. Like, it's true happiness.
It's definitely like a more fulfilling life. It's just hard to stay religious because you get tested like constantly. You know, I used to walk outside, I'd be like, oh, it's sunny, that's nice. Instead now, like, I'll walk outside and I'll be like, God, man, seriously, that's a crazy sky. If you're being religious, you really learn how to be like humble and like really gain an appreciation for life. You're just like high on life, you're enjoying life, you know? You see a tree, you're like, it's a beautiful tree. You like want to just like touch the tree, you know? It sounds like cracked down, it sounds like you're on drugs, but like you're not. Like, you're just appreciating life for what it really is. It's a beautiful life.
Do you think religious people are happier?
I would say yeah, probably.
They seem happier.
Yeah, they seem happier.
Because you have meaning, you have
Yeah, you have a purpose. You know, you have a real, true purpose, and, you know, if you're following it, you're doing the best thing you could possibly be doing. You know? You're doing the best thing ever, all day, and, you know, that's a great feeling. I mean, if you don't believe in that, then it's very difficult to find meaning in life. I have trouble believing it. You know, I feel like if I believed it, I would be happier. That would be great if I could believe it, but I just have trouble believing it.
Yeah, me too.